Diana of Themyscira, DCAU, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, known also as Diana of Themyscira, was the princess of the Amazons and one of the original 7 founders of the Justice League. Wonder Woman was from Themyscira. She was exiled after bringing outsiders to Themyscira, but was later welcomed back and made ambassador for her home. Princess Diana is Wonder Woman, the fierce and courageous superheroine and champion of the Amazons. She founded the Justice League alongside her friends after the Imperium invasion and protected Earth with them from several great and powerful threats. History. Themyscira and man's world. Diana began existence as a clay sculpture. Her mother, Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons, breathed life into her so that she might have a child of her own. She also was blessed by the gods with many gifts, such as superhuman physical prowess and the ability to fly. According to Hades, Greek god of the underworld, Diana was sculpted from clay by her mother and himself during an affair between them, though life wasn't breathed into Diana until after his banishment. Hermes mentions to Diana that she's practically a member of the family. Diana grew up as the princess of her people, beloved by everyone on the island and having been closely raised by her mother, who instructed their ancient beliefs. She was a close friend with Philippus. She also had an adopted sister, Aresia, who got extremist in their philosophies about men and became isolated from every other Amazon as a final test to cut ties with the outside world. However, when man's world came under attack by the Imperium, Diana proposed to Hippolyta that they send help. When her mother refused to intervene, however, she still felt it was her duty to help. In the dead of night, she slipped into the temple of Athena and took the goddess' magic armor. Urged on by the distress call of the Martian Johns, Diana left Themyscira and traveled to where she felt the summons originating. Diana arrived in the canyon along with Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, and the Flash and took part in the battle there, even saving Hawkgirl's life from one of the fighter crafts. She was instantly noticed for her beauty and revealing armor, most notably by Flash. However, she was also seen as merely a newcomer to fighting as a hero. Green Lantern even referred to her as the rookie in the tiara. Diana joined the other 6 individuals to combat the Imperium, first joining Batman and John to destroy one of the invaders' factories in Egypt. The enemy attack seemingly resulted in Batman's demise, forcing Diana and John to meet Green Lantern and Flash in Metropolis in order to rescue the captured Superman and Hawkgirl. However, they too were captured soon after. During the Imperium's torture of John, Batman arrived, alive and well, to reverse the effects of the factory. Diana was freed of her bonds and punctured large holes in the building, letting the sunlight in to destroy the invaders. When the Imperium attempted to escape, Diana used her lasso to hold the ship down. After being hit by a laser cannon, Hawkgirl smashed her mace into the shuttle, buying time for Diana to regain control of the ship while the Thanagarian delivered the final blow. Due to her efforts on behalf of Earth during the invasion, Diana was invited aboard the Watchtower, and she took part in the formation of the Justice League alongside Superman, Batman, Hawkgirl, Flash, Green Lantern, and John. The Justice League. Diana took on the name Wonder Woman and continued to serve with the League, working on missions such as assisting Aquaman in keeping control of Atlantis from his brother. However, 8 months after the League's formation, Diana began to have second thoughts about leaving her mother and sisters. Believing that she at least owed Hippolyta an explanation for her actions, Diana decided to return to Themyscira. However, when she arrived there, Diana found her home in ruins and her fellow Amazons turned to stone, including her mother. The one responsible turned out to be Felix Faust, who claimed to have come to the island in search of ultimate knowledge. Faust struck a deal with Diana, agreeing to restore the Amazons if she retrieved a series of mystical artifacts scattered across the globe. Feeling she had no alternative, Diana agreed. After successfully locating one of the artifacts and destroying much of the museum in a battle with a giant colossus, Diana was confronted by Superman about her behavior. Reluctantly, she agreed to allow him, John, and Flash to assist her in locating the other relics. While they performed this task, however, Batman gathered information on Faust. He revealed that the relics together made a key which would unlock the gates of Tartarus and release the god Hades from his prison. Despite this information, Diana took the relics and returned to Themyscira. However, just as Faust was about to double-cross her, Superman, John, Flash, and Batman revealed themselves and joined her to fight the sorcerer. Faust, however, still managed to escape, taking the key and Hippolyta with him. After he released Hades from Tartarus, Diana and the other League members fought Hades and an army of undead warriors that the gods summoned to attack them. Diana freed her mother and then pried the key from its lock. Her actions destroyed it, causing everything to be hurled into Tartarus. Hades attempted to drag Hippolyta through the gate with him, but Diana was able to rescue her while Hades and the remains of Faust were thrown back to the dead world. Though Diana had saved Themyscira, with the help of the other League members, she had broken the sacred law that forbade anyone from bringing men to the island. Because of her actions, Hippolyta was forced to banish Diana from Themyscira. Diana, though visibly shaken, accepted her exile and departed with the Justice League. Diana continued to work with the League, assisting on missions such as saving Gorilla City from destruction at the hands of Gorilla Grodd. However, Diana would reunite briefly with her mother when her adoptive sister unleashed a poison meant to kill every man on Earth. She rescued Hippolyta after she was taken captive by Arisia and Sukuri when she attempted to stop the rogue Amazon. With the help of Hawkgirl, she also defeated Arisia, who was killed when her aircraft plummeted into the sea. Sometime later, Diana would witness the alteration of history at the hands of Vandal Savage, who influenced the events of World War II to his advantage. She traveled back in time with the rest of the League, sans Batman, to stop him. During this time, Diana met a man, Steve Trevor, who gave her her first taste of romance. After successfully stopping Savage and restoring the timeline, she visited an aged Trevor, who still remembered her as his angel. Diana continued to work as part of the League, such as helping to find Orion and fight against Brainiac's clones during his alliance with Darkseid. However, Diana would also begin to venture into man's world for reasons other than to protect it. This activity allowed her to befriend international celebrities such as Princess Audrey of Kasnia. She also discovered the identity of her fellow League member, Batman, around this time. After seeing Glorious Gordon Godfrey's TV show, she was infuriated when he insulted the Justice League and her signature outfit, so much so that she punched the monitor, saying she would not tolerate it. And she asked Green Lantern and Flash what was wrong with the way she dressed. The three of them went to Artie Bauman about this, and he offered Diana to be on the cover of the swimsuit issue of his magazine, but she did not want any part of it. They hear an explosion, and they find that the power plant was under attack, and while Green Lantern and Flash put out the fire, she finds General McCormick firing a machine gun at her because he felt she was after his precious diamond, but she defeats him and snatches the diamond from his hands only for her to get possessed by the Ophidians, whose spirits have been inside the diamond, and she walks out humming an eerie tune. Soon after, when Superman was seemingly murdered in battle by Toyman, Diana very nearly killed the villain in revenge. She was only dissuaded by Flash when he reminded her that Superman would never have advocated murder. Diana attended the memorial service held for the Kryptonian, again briefly seeing her mother again just before the service began. She sat in the watchtower with the other members of the Justice League when Lobo showed up and announced that he would join the Justice League. She and the others quickly rejected him. She was visibly overjoyed when Superman returned, having actually been hurled forward in time. After nearly 2 years with the Justice League, Diana had come to trust and rely on each of the other members. So when Hawkgirl betrayed the League to the Thanagarian forces, Diana felt particularly let down. She was knocked out when the Thanagarians raided the watchtower, and then subsequently tied up with her own lasso. She was, however, responsible for freeing the captured League as well. When she and the League were forced to go underground after their escape to hide from the Thanagarians, Diana joined Batman, whom she knew to be Bruce Wayne. After saving a pair of civilians from falling debris, Diana and Wayne were forced to hide in an Indian restaurant. While there, they were forced to engage in a deep kiss in order to conceal their faces from the pursuing Thanagarians. After the League had successfully made their way to the Batcave beneath Wayne Manor in Gotham City, they were confronted by Hawkgirl, now known as Lieutenant Shayera Hull. Diana's bitterness toward her former ally was exceeded only perhaps by Jon Stewart's, and she was more than prepared to deal harshly with the other woman. However, Shayera instead provided them with technical readouts for the hyperspace bypass generator, which had been previously thought to be a shield generator to protect Earth from the Gordanians, as well as returning Stewart's power ring. Diana joined Superman and Green Lantern in infiltrating Commander Rotalik's flagship in order to shut down the force field surrounding the hyperspace bypass generator. During her battle with the Thanagarians on board the flagship, Diana stumbled across Shayera, who had been imprisoned for giving information to the League. Although still bitter about Shayera's betrayal, Diana released her. After the battle, Diana participated in the debate about what to do concerning Shayera's continued status in the League. Still angry, she remained against Shayera staying among them, likely even voting to expel her. Diana's grudge against Shayera would continue for some time. Expanding the team. Diana participated in the expansion of the Justice League, eventually moving on board the new Watchtower. She even acquired an invisible jet for her own use. As the League grew to include over 60 new members, Diana served on the League's founding council and as a mission leader. Diana remained busy in the wake of the League's expansion. She and Batman battled Mongol within the confines of Superman's Fortress of Solitude, both receiving a vicious beating during the fight. Diana watched as Superman and Batman were given their ideal dreams as the telepathic plant called the Black Mercy was stuck to their chests. She finally managed to forcefully pull the alien parasite off of Batman, fully struggled against it and uses it against Mongol, trapping him for good. Diana also accompanied Superman, Green Lantern, and Batman when Morgaine Le Fay transformed them into children in order to stop Mordred from taking over the world after he had banished all of the adults. Another mission that Diana led included her leading Hawk and Dove to stop the god Ares from igniting a civil war in Casnia through the use of a weapon known as the Annihilator. The weapon had been forged by Hephaestus, the god who had also created Diana's armor and indirectly helped her to contain her own wrath. Shortly thereafter, Diana joined Batman on a stakeout to stop Intergang. While on the mission, they were intercepted by the sorceress Circe, who transformed Diana into a pig. Batman was forced to employ the help of Zatanna, but Diana soon broke loose, forcing him to seek the help of Buona Beast to hunt her down. She wandered into a butchering factory where she was captured by the workers and almost butchered herself. However, Batman had struck a deal with Circe and the spell was reversed before any serious harm was done to Diana. Diana continued to work on League missions, such as assisting in stopping the Dark Heart. She would, however, be forced to deal with old feelings of betrayal when Shayera returned to the ranks of the League. The relationship between the two women would remain hostile for some time, despite attempts from friends such as Flash to help them patch things up. At this time, Diana received a command from Hermes, the messenger of the Olympians, to return to Themyscira and restore Hades to the throne of Tartarus, as he had been overthrown by Felix Faust. Knowing that she would be facing powerful magic, Diana broke into Shayera's quarters to steal the Thangarian's magic-resistant mace. However, Shayera caught Diana and insisted on accompanying her to Themyscira. When she and Shayera arrived on the island, Diana again came face-to-face with Hippolyta. After hearing of Diana's intentions, Hippolyta unlocked the full powers of Diana's armor. These powers included the lasso forcing people to tell the truth when they were wrapped in it, and others which Hippolyta stated that Diana would learn in due time. Diana and Shayera entered Tartarus and soon located Faust, only to be defeated. Choosing a different tactic, they instead sought out Hades and freed him before attacking Faust again. Neither Diana nor Hades were able to bring Faust down, as he had taken control of the Annihilator, but Diana was able to do so through the use of Shayera's mace. It was then that Hades claimed to have had a hand in her creation, but Diana simply dismissed it. After the battle, Diana and Shayera left Tartarus and were welcomed by the Amazons. It was then that Hippolyta finally ended Diana's exile from Themyscira, despite the exile being decreed by the gods. Diana and Shayera also finally reconciled with each other, stating while they may not be friends, they are good teammates. After Lex Luthor and Brainiac were defeated, the League reformed again, creating the Metro Tower, and a new relationship started with the governments of the world in the aftermath of Project Cadmus. It was at this time that Hippolyta requested that Diana become the ambassador for Themyscira. However, she proved to be unskilled in diplomacy when she accidentally threatened other nations with a military action from Themyscira if their pollution continued to affect the island during a meeting over an exposed Viking ship due to the effects of global warming. It was also during this time that Diana warned John against his continued distance from humanity. She recommended that he spend time on Earth instead of staying on board the Watchtower all the time, coordinating League missions. Soon after, the Martian took Diana's advice. Also, Diana was an unwitting contestant in Roulette's Glamour Slam. She faced off against 4 Justice League members, Hawkgirl, Vixen, Black Canary and Huntress. She proved a formidable foe for both Vixen and Hawkgirl, whom she defeated with relative ease. The mind-controlling signal in her communicator was stopped a split second before she bashed her opponent's skulls together. During Darkseid's invasion of Earth, Diana stood against his forces in China along with Shining Knight, Vigilante, and Legion of Doom member Star Sapphire. There, she single-handedly destroyed the local magma tapper. During the battle, Diana was reunited with John, who had taken up residence in the area. She was last seen chasing after the Legion of Doom with the rest of the Justice League. Diana was still alive and active in some way during the 2040s. Powers and abilities. Diana has shown herself to be one of the most powerful beings in the Justice League. She was blessed by the Greek gods with similar enhanced abilities, including amazing speed, reflexes, and strength. She also possesses the power of flight. Diana provides additional muscle to the Justice League lineup, besides Superman. She can break apart materials more resistant than steel and pulverize solids stronger than concrete with her bare hands. She has strength comparable to Superman in his base state, however, she is much weaker than Superman when he is not holding back. As an Themyscirian Amazon, Diana was ageless and immortal, allowing her to live indefinitely without physically aging beyond her youthful prime. However, she was still vulnerable to death upon sufficient injuries and such. Diana has described herself as a warrior born and has undergone lifetime of combat experience due to her exclusive Amazonian training. This provided her expertise in both hand-to-hand combat and handheld weapons. Powers: divine empowerment, flight, superhuman durability, superhuman speed, superhuman stamina, superhuman strength. Abilities: aviation, aerial combat, equestrianism, hand-to-hand combat, advanced, leadership, political science, weaponry, swordsmanship, throwing, paraphernalia, equipment. Bracelets: Diana was adept at providing cover for her allies, utilizing her superhuman reflexes along with silver bracelets that can deflect all sorts of projectiles through her anti-bullets routine. This include artillery fire, lasers, and Green Lantern-style energy beams and constructs. Lasso: also of note was Diana's indestructible golden lasso, which proved very useful on multiple occasions for seizing various objects. It also contains the power to force the truth out of anyone wrapped in it. Armor: Diana wears an armor created by the Greek god, Hephaestus. Initially, the armor was taken by her without permission, and thus it was some time before Diana became aware of its additional potential. Her armor was stated to have a weakness, though it was never revealed. Transportation: invisible jet. Weapons: Wonder Woman's tiara, her tiara, which can be used as a throwing weapon similar to a boomerang.
If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.